Hello everyone, Enod here. I just wanted to share this with everyone. I was able to complete the Geonosian special mission earlier today, just a few minutes ago actually. While this was still fresh in my head, I figured I would go ahead and make a voiceover recording of this because I unfortunately did not record any kind of audio alongside of it. So without further ado, here we go. So I made actually a mistake here, forgetting that I have the Brood Alpha. I can't actually summon the droid, so that was a mistake. But aside from that, this is a fairly straightforward battle. You start off, if you use that AoE, that's going to get a bunch of staggers out there. It's going to get a bunch of tenacity down out there, so you can actually start controlling the field from the very beginning. And you use Sunfac, you can get a blind out there on some of the like the heavier damage dealers. And basically what you want to be doing here, and you'll see this, I do it throughout the entire battle, is I basically just spread the tenacity down and then I spread ability block. And as long as everyone's ability blocked when it comes to be their turn, then the whole mission is a piece of cake. So you'll see that pretty much every time it comes to be an enemy's turn, I have them ability blocked. And this goes from phase 1 all the way through phase 4. It's very simple, so while it looks like I'm spreading damage around, I'm really not. All I'm doing is I am hitting the exposes because I don't want the exposes to go away. And other than that, I just keep everyone ability blocked and it goes nice and smooth. So I'm probably not going to be talking too much during this. I'm just going to let the let the game play out. You can see it. If you have any questions regarding the strategy or anything else regarding this, let me know. I did record the mods that I used immediately after it, so at the very end of the video you will be able to see the mods that I have on the Geonosians. And yeah, so you can use your healing ability, your cleansing ability if you want. At this point in time, and throughout most of the battle, I think I used 1, maybe 2 of the heals throughout the entire battle. I could have used it here to get rid of those debuffs that are on the Brood, on the Geonosian Brute, but I figured that it wasn't really necessary, and so I just left it. I figured that they'd cleanse at the end of the encounter anyways, and I just continue to work on these things. Now, when you go into the beginning of a new encounter, you're not going to be able to get the ability blocks very easily unless you use that the AoE ability from the special missions. Now, what I didn't realize is that you actually can use that. It looks like it's on cooldown for different characters. So while it was on cooldown from one character, of course the Brute can't use it, but that's again not a big deal. Brute can't use it, but the other characters can. So there, the Spy has it. He could have used it there. I probably should have. But here, the Geonosian Brood Alpha cannot use it. And there I should have finished off the ad, but I was like, this would be overkill. I'm gonna go ahead and spread the damage around. But that was actually definitely a mistake. And here, on this second mission, if you run across Barris, strongly suggest that you just focus her down, because she's gonna just gain the turn meter as you hit and crit her allies, and it's just gonna extend the fight by quite a bit. So after she's down, then you can go with the the strategy that I was saying before. Spread your damage around, which isn't really spreading the damage, it's more spread the tenacity down, spread the ability block, spread the crit chance down, and you'll eventually get through it. Geonosians don't hit very hard. I think we all know that by now. It's very easy But it's a very easy team to use, and I mean you'll make it through, because they're not going to do hardly any damage to you, especially if you don't target, or if you don't taunt rather, with Sunfac. You're not gonna take very much damage at all. It's all gonna go onto the brute, and if the brute dies, you just resummon a new one. Piece of cake. One thing that I did is I used the blind ability from Sunfac very liberally. Like anytime it was up, I would use it on someone, and then I would be ignoring that person or that character, like I did with that Jedi Sentinel right there. I landed the blind on him, and I knew he was going to go into stealth. So I knew he was also going to take another turn before I'd be able to hit him again. So I'm like, okay, well, let's blind him, and that's going to negate his next turn. And so here we go into the round 3, and I just start off with that AoE ability. And now so many people, or so many enemies, have tenacity down. It's really easy for me to go ahead and stick that ability block on those characters. And so just go around there. Now I've got ability block on everyone except for this last clone trooper, but now one of my Geonosians, I don't remember which one, spreads that tenacity down. I think it's the soldier, and then I can ability block. And then I do avoid, for the most part, using my middle special on the spy. The reason is that's going to dispel all buffs and debuffs on spy and the target, which means it's going to dispel the tenacity down, and it's going to dispel the ability block, and you don't really want that. You want that ability block, you want that tenacity down. So when it gets down, to 1 or 2 enemies left, okay, yeah, then you can go ahead and use that ability. You will reapply it, it's just going to be a matter of time. And do you really want to have those guys like use their big abilities, use res from the medic or anything like that? You really don't. So avoid using that middle ability on the spy, and you should be in much better shape. Just keep on spreading those ability blocks, keep on spreading those tenacity downs. Use your heal ability from the Brood Alpha very sparingly. Only use it if you really need to, or if you know that you're really not going to be in danger. Got everyone ability block, but you just want to kind of top off protection, and you've got some time for that ability to refresh before you go into the next encounter. That would be a pretty good time to use it. I always call the spy to assist with my either with my soldier when it's his turn, or with my Poggle, and that's more because the spy's gonna be generating some turn meter. He's gonna be healing. It's just to me it seemed like a better choice to use the spy as the assist. So here we're down to just the 2 ARC troopers. I'm applying the tenacity down, I'm applying the ability block. I want to keep them from being able to use their ability. There I went ahead and once again I used the blind on the elite ARC trooper. And that way when it comes to be his turn again, if he didn't have ability block, then he is not going to be able to actually land a hit on me, and that's going to negate a lot of damage. Now I did get to stick the ability block on him before he took his turn, so that didn't matter as much, but he did take a turn, and of course he did miss. Now here in the end, we're stuck against Kiadi Mundi and Mace. It's really, again, not that difficult. You do want to start off with that AoE, which I didn't do. I realized it as soon as I did it. But here we've got another one available on my next guy, so really not a big deal. And I got to use it on Spy, and because Spy gains turn meter when he inflicts the debuffs on his turn, that was actually a very helpful thing, because he basically got to take a bonus turn immediately after. You really are going to want to keep an ability block as much as possible on pawns. You're going to want to keep one on Mace, you're going to want to keep one on Ki-Adi-Mundi, and on the Clone Trooper. The healer, Clone Medic, is not as big of a deal, but those four are definitely ones that you want ability block on. Pawns has some crazy damage output. Mace has crazy damage output. There you see Pawns, I didn't get the ability block on him, so he did get that big AoE off. But when it comes over to my Geonosian Alpha's turn again, it won't be that big of a deal because he'll be able to cleanse it. You want to make sure that you're not killing anyone. It looks like Pawns actually was gaining a lot of turn meter there when I was attacking that Clone Sergeant in the background too, so not sure if that is actually the case. Now here I did not use the cleanse from Poggle. I was debating it, but I ended up using just the basic, and then I used the heal from the Brood Alpha. That's going to be a cleanse as well as a heal, so I figured why would I waste the ability on Poggle. I'll just use cleanse on the Brood Alpha. And here you can see we're just keeping those ability blocks on. I was debating killing the Sergeant there, and then I thought better of it. I'm gonna kill the Medic. It's probably a really good idea here. Trying to get that Clone Sergeant so he doesn't get the taunt off, and we're gonna go right back over to Pawns, finish him, and then we're gonna go after Ki-Adi-Mundi because he is not ability blocked. And here I had the special up, so I went ahead and I used that special, and we're just focusing him down. Figure I'll go ahead and I'll hit the Clone Trooper because he had a little bit of turn meter and a stagger on him. So we finish him. We go back, we finish off Ki-Adi-Mundi. I go ahead and I cleanse because I know that it's coming to the end of it and I'm really in no danger. So I could have thrown it onto auto battle here, but I kept it on manual controls. It ended up being a piece of cake. I was very surprised as to how easy it was. Now I did yesterday change my mods around on my Geonosians for this particular event. I did not want to, when I went into the special mission yesterday, I didn't want to lose, but I ended up actually losing anyway, so I did not get to complete the Acklay mission. Like half my characters got one shot, but here you can see these are the mods that I used. I go over all the mods and I go over the stats. So really what I was aiming for, speed and protection and health on everyone. So you see, I've got, these are not my arena mods, but they are pretty good mods. Lots of health, lots of protection secondaries, lots of speed. Here we can see the Brood Alpha's actual stats, over 110k, almost 120k health and protection total. That's mainly what we're after, and we got quite a bit of speed on him as well. On Poggle, we're going to want some potency, we're going to want protection, we're going to want speed. Potency, you want him to stick that ability block, and these guys have so much tenacity that having those potency secondaries really going to help you out. Go for health and protection because you want them to survive as much as possible. And the health equalization helps with just the Geonosian team. So there's Poggle stats. We'll move on to the next character. Here we got Sunfac once again. We're going for a lot of protection secondaries, a lot of health secondaries, as much speed as I can get onto him while keeping all that protection. That secondary arrow, you may not have noticed it here. It does not have a bunch of flat protection, but it has 8.6% protection. So that's actually a huge protection boost with 8.6% on just a secondary. At 3k protection there, 1300 health, 1200 protection. This one's just speed. I couldn't find a better circle, and there we got another 22 speed on that cross. So here we're sitting at about 120k health and protection, plus 90 something speed, so pretty decent stats overall. And then we'll move on to the next Geonosian. We got the Spy. So Spy, you're going to want a lot of crit damage on, a lot of offense on if you can get it, but again, you want them to be survivable. So here I've got a lot of crit damage, a lot of speed, not as much crit chance on him, but lots of offense, and I'm trying to make him as survivable as I can again. So there, he's probably the most tender, but at least he's under stealth most of the time. He's got 40k hit points, he's maxed on the crit damage, about 600 offense, and he does quite a bit of damage. So then the soldier, got a lot of speed on him, but really what I'm aiming for on him, over offense, over speed, over everything else, is crit chance. You want the soldier to be critting every time he goes. You'll see here, he doesn't have as much health and protection, he does have a decent amount of speed, but look at his crit chance here, 72.5%. The reason that you want it so high, of course, is because when he crits, he generates turn meter. Okay, so you have him critting all the time, he will generate turn meter. He'll be able to go more often, of course. He'll be able to call those assists, get that tenacity down, which I believe is on his basic, and you will be doing really, really well. So there you go. That's basically how I ended up doing the Geonosian mission. So my guild should be pretty happy with me. Hopefully we'll be getting some more Wat Tambor shards. I can't wait to get them and use them. I've been looking forward to it ever since they announced his kit. He looks really, really fun. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I post all my grand arenas up on my channel here. I also am in the process of making some new player guides from a new account's perspective, with an experienced player behind it. So there are some things that you don't realize if you're creating a new account, but you know, things that you might want to focus on that you wouldn't have thought of. But anyways, if you liked the video, please toss the thumbs up, toss a subscribe. I'd really appreciate the support. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. And thanks a lot for tuning in.